Okay, so we're going to start with resiliency. So we're going to be talking about the fixed versus growth mindset. Okay, there. And just letting you all know, I'm struggling with technology, so bear with me, but we got this. Okay, so resiliency. Basically, it believes in the personal growth and change mindset. So basically, you're seeing new knowledge and skills as a way of life, not just a one-time thing. So you see yourself as a lifelong student, right? You enjoy learning new things, you set priorities and goals, and you anticipate possible consequences, but you realize that you have backup plans and options. Um, so resilience isn't, like I got everything down, but it's realizing that whatever comes your way, you'll find a way through it. So, talking about fixed mindset versus growth mindset, all the characteristics of resilience are enhanced when you have a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. It comes from how you kind of like bounce back from challenges that you're facing. When you have a growth mindset, you basically realize that, you know what, I can grow from this experience, versus fixed mindset. You're kind of like, it's not going to work. It's okay, whatever. So I think we can all kind of relate that, getting into college, even, you've probably experienced this growth mindset, right? So I applaud you all for being here because it kind of shows that, you're using this mindset already and you're taking initiative and you're willing to learn. And I'm going to do a poll question right now just to kind of, I think it relates really well to this. So I'm going to go ahead and launch it. Jessica, if you could let me know if everybody can see this, that would be great. Just give me a thumbs up. Can you see it?
I went ahead and launched it. Yes. And we're only answering the first question right now.
Thank you. So yeah, just kind of go ahead and answer how much you think resiliency affects success.
Someone says they cannot submit. Oh, there's one. Okay. I'll check. Oh.
I wonder if it only lets them do all three. Oh.
Okay, it wants all the questions answered. That might have been a mistake on my part, but that's okay. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. And then Aria, you can kind of go ahead and talk about number one, about
Okay.
how much resiliency affects success.
Got it. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and end it. Okay. So in my opinion, I think resiliency and success are highly correlated or kind of relate to each other, because when you have that mindset of, I'm going to work through it, you take more opportunities and you take some of those chances, because you realize that, those chances, yeah, you may fail or you may not do the greatest, but at the same time, you also do have the chance of performing well and you do have the chance of doing well. And so you engage in those opportunities that help you be successful. So for example, this New World of Work series, I was really nervous about doing it with Jessica. But then I was like, you know what? Because I'm honestly like technology and me, we're not friends. So this pandemic though, it's like you have to learn it, right? So I was like, okay, might as well, just take a shot at it. It's okay. We got this. So I think that when you engage in those experiences, yeah, it's scary, but at the same time, that's resiliency. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to 21st century skills. And we're gonna kind of look at this fixed versus growth mindset. And I want you to focus on resiliency and what we talked about. And you're gonna try to see, like, does Jane have resiliency? Is it a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Okay, so let me stop sharing for a second and then I'll play the video. And then Jessica, just let me know if you can hear it.
I will let you know. All good.
Thank you.
Jane, we need to discuss the advertising strategy you designed for my business. It's not working.
Amy, hi. Please sit down. So, what exactly are your concerns?
Well, first of all, we agreed that we would familiarize the city with my face. Every time I see a bus stop, I get so excited, hoping that I'll see one of these ads on the bench.
Definitely agree that. Let me explain what happened. I emailed the company that places the bus stop bench ads, and they didn't email me back.
Did the email bounce back? Did you call or maybe even send a follow-up email?
Well, I tried to make the bus stop bench ads happen, but it didn't work out.
It doesn't seem like you tried very hard.
Let's move on. Are there any other parts to our strategy that you're dissatisfied with?
Actually, yes. Let's talk about my TV commercial.
About your TV commercial.
Are you in the market for the perfect new home for you and your growing family? Perhaps you're starting a new business and you need to buy a lot to build your new office. Or maybe you just need to relocate to be closer to your job. I can help with all your real estate needs. It looks like a drunk baby is operating the camera. Why didn't you call for a reshoot?
That sounds hard.
But the commercial is horrible.
Let's look on the bright side. It plays on TV all the time.
That is not a comforting thought.
I understand your frustrations. Let me explain something that I've learned in my many years of advertising. I call it the wisdom ball. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. Life isn't easy, and sometimes failure is inevitable.
I know. You fall down, you get back up and try again.
You don't get back up. No, you fall down. Ouch. You're down. It's done. You're a loser.
Excuse me?
Yeah. You should just get out of the whole career and real estate mindset. How do you expect to get any customers? You don't even have a bus stop bench ad.
This is outrageous. I'm going to take my business elsewhere.
Okie dokie.
So you're not even going to try to stop me? I can't believe you're giving up this easily.
Really? That's funny. I thought it was obvious that I'm a quitter. Trash can. Jeez, I'll never try that again.
Okay. So I know that was a little exaggerated version, but I think it's obvious that Jane kind of gives up quickly. We kind of heard things like, if you're down, you stay down. You know, clearly it's a fixed mindset. If you fall down, like she's not trying, she lets the client walk away, is pretty uninterested at the end too. And so I think this is a good example of like, when you do fall down, you want to get back up and start trying, because if you're, say you do fail at something and then you don't try, then that's not a growth opportunity, right? And so I think that it's important to realize that, you know, in life you're going to have challenges, and the more you kind of have that mindset of it's going to be okay, like I will find my way and push through, the more you'll engage in those opportunities, and then you'll get more out of it. So yeah, and I think it relates well with the kind of circumstances that we're dealing with nowadays. I know, like me personally, it was very scary the first few weeks. I was like, I don't know how to work from home. I don't know how to do school through a laptop. I don't, you know, but it's like, okay, take it one step at a time. And now we're here and you're all here. So I applaud you for being here and learning and still taking initiative. Okay, let's see. So fixed mindset, like we discussed, so you give up easily, you see effort as like not being worth it, you ignore useful criticism, and you feel threatened by the success of others. So it's basically a desire to kind of look smarter, and then therefore you have this tendency to like ignore everything that's coming your way that'll actually help you grow. And then with growth mindset, on the other hand, you realize that intelligence can be developed. So that's a desire to learn, and therefore a tendency to actually face challenges, pursue different things after setbacks. You know, you kind of look at your setbacks as like motivation to even change, and you find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. So I would shoot for this kind of mindset. Now we're going to actually learn about plasticity and the brain, and I think that this is pretty cool. In my psychology classes and stuff too, we would kind of learn about this. And there's biological, you know, reasons behind why this mindset works. So it's this idea of neuroplasticity. Your brain's basically capable of growing new brain cells throughout your entire life. So you're constantly changing, and so is your brain. Intelligence and skills can be increased with the right stimulus for your brain. So the more effort and time that you put into something, the more resiliency that you have, the more your brain develops. Just accepting the concept of plasticity actually starts increasing brain development. So it's almost like the way that you talk to yourself and your brain, it actually starts to believe it and then develop. And there's a little video. It's not that long, so I think I'll go ahead and share that with you all. And Jessica, again, if you could tell me if it sounds okay.
You got it.
Thank you.
Sorry.
21st century skills are necessary for the new world of work that students are entering into. The world of
Whoops, wrong one. Not the right one.
That's what I was thinking, but I was like, we'll go with it. We'll see what happens. We're being resilient, going with the flow.
Thank you for being supportive. Let me see what happened. I don't.
Go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint, and then and then click on that. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence, neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-traveled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep travelling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
So I thought that was a fun little video to kind of show you what's going on inside your brain. And it could just be because I'm nerdy and I like learning about that kind of stuff, but I always thought that it was nice. And an example of like changing your brain a little bit is for me personally, like I would drink coffee every morning and that's how I would get started with my day. And recently, like I've been trying to refrain from it. And so it's like rewiring my brain, like, no, you get up in the morning and you drink a tall glass of water, right? So that's eventually like that'll become a habit and my brain's learning that water's better for me than coffee is. Okay, so practicing a growth mindset. So when we're saying things like, I'm not good at this, this is too hard, sometimes we do have negative thoughts, and I want to say like that's normal to not always think positively. Sometimes we do have conflicting thoughts, but I kind of want to challenge us to kind of turn those thoughts around. So instead of saying I'm not good at this, you can kind of say I'm not good at this yet, or I can't do this yet. When you put yet next to it, it kind of changes it into like a more growth mindset approach, and you realize like just because I'm not good at it today doesn't mean I'm not going to master it tomorrow. So when you're thinking some of these thoughts, I want to kind of challenge you to, change it. So Jessica, can I have you volunteer? So
Sure.
thank you. Instead of saying like, I'm not good enough or I'm not good at this, what could you say instead?
You could say I'm still learning, or this is a good time for improvement, or I'm not good at this yet.
Thank you. Thank you for volunteering. So yeah, when you add those words, it helps your brain realize that, you know what, it's okay. And I think that we have a lot of power ourselves, and we can change the way that we think about things, but you have to be kind to your brain, as I like to say, because it does a lot for you. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the Wheel of Life, and you're going to have this worksheet at the end, and I'm going to send it through the chat box, but I want to kind of explain it a little bit before you go ahead and like work on it after this. So basically, the Wheel of Life, and what I like about this is you put down, it's like a way for you to set goals and help you practice growth mindset. Because personally, I feel like when you kind of like write things down and you actually practice it on paper, it's a little bit easier for you to like kind of see it like, okay, this is how this works, right? And you're helping your brain kind of see a plan in action. So you put down on the outsides things that are important to you. So like this person did fun and recreation, physical environment, fitness and career, finances, health, family and friends, and romance, and then personal growth. So then you prioritize and you basically rate where you feel like you are in this. So that's what the colors are for. So for example, like right now, when it comes to my health, maybe I'm at a 7. So then I would kind of draw 7 right here and color it in. Right now though, maybe for fun and recreation, I'm at like a 2, even though I'm trying to be creative. Like this pandemic isn't working for me really well. So I'm at a 2 right now. And then personal growth, I'd say maybe I'm at like a 7. So it's gonna look different for each person. But when you color it in, it just kind of lets you see like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. These are the things that maybe I need to improve a little bit more on, you know, this family and friends section, or maybe, you know, maybe your fun and recreation's great and you're finding creative ways. Maybe you're baking away and you're running and meditating, and so you're good. So it'll be different for everybody. But yeah, I encourage you to kind of do this. It's a fun little activity. I do this for one of my counseling classes too every week, and so it's kind of neat to see like where you are. So I think that, yeah, go ahead and yeah, get involved and do this. And you can even get like your family and friends to do it too. I think it's a fun way to see where everybody's at if you live with people right now. Yeah, I annoy my family all the time because I'm living with them right now, and I'll just be like, here, we need to do these like Wheel of Life charts and see where we're all at for our emotional well-being. And they're like, okay, this weird things make you excited, Aria, but it's okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can create categories like I said, and then on the back you can actually write action steps for each category. So like say I'm a little bit lower on health, I can write down like, oh, I'm gonna every week make sure I go on a walk at least once a day, right? Or maybe like you're lacking in the family or in friends area right now, which is normal to feel, you know, during this time of like, you know, we feel a little bit apart from our friends. And so maybe that means, you know, every couple of days I'm going to give somebody that I care about a Zoom call or a Skype call, and I'm going to talk to them. So you can go ahead and write your action steps, and then you can map out like how prepared you feel with the colors, and look back in a month, see what you've accomplished, what still needs to be done, what are you doing well. It just like allows you to do a little bit of reflection and see where you're at. So I think it's really neat. Okay, now I'm going to do a poll question real quick before we start talking about and switching gears about the 21st century skills and what employers are looking for. So let's do a poll. Um,
If you want, I can launch it really quick.
that would be great. Thank you, Jessica.
All right. And you guys are quick.
Yeah.
All right. So we got all of our answers, Aria.
Yay. Let's see. Nice. Looks like a lot of you got it. It was a trick question. I was just trying to see. But yeah, they are looking for all of those skills right now. And I think the more we talk about it, the more you'll see like why these are so important. But yeah, thank you for participating. Okay. Okay, so adaptability in the 21st century workforce. So these are the two things that we're going to be focusing on. We're going to notice when things change, like new technology or responsibilities, you see it as an opportunity rather than being negative about it, right? You're open to new experiences, trying on different work environments, roles, and tasks. And I think that that's adaptability in the 21st century workforce. It's not like it used to be, right? A lot of the times, employers nowadays are looking for people who are taking initiative and that want to try different things and take on different roles. Um, it's very rare to have like a job where you're doing the same thing every single day. It's pretty much like doing different tasks and taking on those opportunities because that's what's going to set you apart from others too, taking that initiative and really being open to new experiences. um, I always say like show up even if you're scared because they don't really know like if you're how bad your heart's pounding or how you're feeling, right? So as long as you show up, that's the first step. And I think I'll like share an experience, and then Jessica, if you want to share one too, about like a time maybe that you know, like where you were nervous and then it did work out. Like, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share mine first. So I'm working in the Career Center right now as an intern, and during my interview, I was super nervous because I was like, I really want this position, but I'm in my first year and I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. But I was shaky and I showed up, my heart's pounding and I'm doing the presentation. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. Like, it's okay if I am nervous. They don't necessarily know how nervous I am. Um, and then I did it and then I got the position. And I think it kind of made me realize like, even though you're scared of something, if you don't try, you won't know. And I've grown so much throughout the experience. Like talking in front of people would like, oh my gosh, I would not like doing any of that. Like it was super, super scary. And then even during my first presentation, like I went and presented in front of a class and I was like shaking and I was like, this is so bad. And then but I improved. I realized what I did well, what I didn't do well, and then it was like a growth opportunity. So just wanted to share with you that even though you're scared or nervous, challenge yourself because I think that you deserve those opportunities to grow. Like you are worth it. Jessica, do you want to share?
Ooh, yeah. I'm trying to think of and like a short experience, but I think working at the Career Center has definitely pushed me beyond what I thought I was capable of. For instance, last semester or within my role in the Career Center, I've had to plan 2 large events. So one career fair, one networking event, and actually this. So for me, I was very timid and not sure that I could do it, but I had to tell myself, like, I can do this. I have all the tools. I'm ready. You know, even if I mess up, I still have the support system. And in my head, I had to tell myself, like, it's okay. This is also a learning experience too. And it's definitely made me a stronger career counselor that way. But I think, just like Aria said, taking the first step in doing it, in doing any of these things was absolutely terrifying, but it makes it worth it in the end because you can look back on it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah.
Okay, so who turned the world upside down and why didn't they tell us? I love this title. I don't know why. It's so fun. Okay, so rapid change to technology leads to social change and a globally competitive workforce, right? Many companies no longer are making the commitment of hiring full-time employees for 40 years. And because everything's so globally competitive now, anyone from anywhere in the world could work. And so you're kind of competing against not only people who maybe live around you, but other people too. And so I think that's one of the reasons why it's so important to develop some of these skills that'll set you apart from other people. Yeah, and a lot of the times these companies now are, looking for no one stays in the same job that they stayed at for, like 20, 30 years, like maybe our parents or grandparents did. It's very much like, you may be changing your career like 5, 6 times now instead of once or twice. So currently 53 million people are independent workers, which is like a third of the total US workforce, which, yeah, that's a lot. So by 2020, it's projected that nearly half of the US workforce will be independent contractors or freelancers. So traditional jobs are being replaced with stingent work, and there are shorter jobs or contracts that people take basically to get work done. And the workplace is everywhere. Employees can work remotely from anywhere in the world. And I think that with this pandemic too now, people are realizing more that, you can telecommute and work from home, which is great because you're, able to do all of these tasks that maybe before weren't thought of as being able to be done from the home. But then you are competing against a whole lot more people now. And so that's why some of these skills like, being culturally competent and like, being able to make sure that you know how to use technology. And if you're like me and you're not good at it, then you kind of figure it out as you go and you learn it, have that growth mindset. But yeah. So what does it mean for modern day workers? It means, you're not guaranteed long-term stable employment, no guarantees of retirement or employer provided healthcare. You do have to anticipate periods of time without work now, and be more flexible in the workplace, whether that means, talking to your employer, figuring out like what tasks need to be done or where you need to grow in what areas, and being open to kind of developing those skill sets that are required. So it also means more opportunities for distributive work, and workers who embrace these changes can also shape their lifestyles. So yeah, there's like a flip side to it where, you're kind of losing that long-term stable employment. But at the same time, like if you're a really great worker and you develop some of these skill sets, you do get to engage in opportunities that maybe you didn't think were possible before, or you get to do other things that kind of challenge you as well. And so you can use those skill sets that you develop in one job and use them in another. So for example, when I was in my undergrad in psychology, I used to work in the psychology department. And so, those skills of organization and helping college students there, and presenting and stuff, I was able to use those skills now that I'm working in the Career Center. And so even though the tests aren't the same, I can still use those things that I've developed, some of those soft skills, right? So that wasn't the plan, so now what? So 20th century workers believe by going to college and working hard that job security would follow. This is no longer true, and it's a little bit unfair, that you worked so hard. But I think on the other side, the thing is that your college degree is great, but also developing that work experience while you are in college and, in your undergrad degree, some of those skills, if you develop those, then you're more likely to be successful once you get out of college too. And I think that that's what's really important, to kind of develop those skill sets early on. 21st century workers who embrace these changes have a better success rate and like happiness level. So new values, so it's less emphasis on consumption, more emphasis on being flexible, right? So we're gonna learn the skills to navigate the new world of work. And I'm gonna launch a poll question. Jessica, can you launch?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
So what's an example of a soft skill? And I know that we haven't covered this, but I just kind of want to see what everybody thinks. Perfect.
You guys are so fast. I'm so amazed.
No, this is awesome. On it.
All right, I'll go ahead and end the poll.
Thank you. So it seems like, yeah, this was also a trick question, but it is adaptability. And I know that being bilingual may seem like a soft skill, but it's actually something that's learned. And so it's actually adaptability. Yeah, and then thank you for participating. Okay. Let me see if we have time. I feel like, Jessica, I'm gonna go ahead and put this video in the chat box because it is longer.
Okay.
And then I know that we have some other slides to cover. Okay. So how the new world of work, 21st century skills can help. So this course has lessons, and I'm going to put this video in the chat so that you can later kind of go through it. It's a little bit longer, but I encourage you to watch it. It kind of talks about 21st century skills, and it's basically talking about understanding your transferable skills, the one that you can take with you no matter what kind of work you do, and it'll help you kind of adapt to the changing workforce. So I kind of talked about this a little earlier with my example, but I think that, some of these transferable skills, like if you have them, you can apply these to so many jobs. Like I work with students in the Career Center, and Jessica, you probably have this experience as well, where it's like a lot of jobs that they come in with, trying to get, they kind of have similar soft skills that get asked, even if it's like a business industry or a marketing or psychology or social work, it's pretty much all the same because employers, and I actually had a conversation with an employer at a career fair once, and they were saying like, we're actually looking more for soft skills now than technical skills, because technical skills we can teach them. Soft skills is like something that, is learned over time, so they can't necessarily like okay, you have to be really good at like communication or those personal skills. Like those are something that gets developed over time. Jessica, can you think of one that?
Well, what I was thinking is when you're saying technical skills, that also translates also to like hard skills. So for instance, I have a background in human resources, and with that, I learned how to talk with people and, communication and those kinds of things. But those are all soft skills. So having, communication and, adaptability with who I was talking to. The hard skills that I would have was learning how to use QuickBooks, learning how to use, the Google Drive where we would hold all of our documents and where we would, conduct payroll. Those are the kinds of things that you can learn, but the soft skills are kinds of things that are they can be taught over time, but they're also kind of innate a little bit that way too. And if they're not innate in the first place, they're definitely able to be learned over time, and you can start to incorporate them into who you are as a worker that way too. So that was my example.
Yeah, thank you. And I think Jessica did a good job of kind of differentiating between the two. So thank you. Yeah, I definitely think that, with the changing workforce today, that is what employers really, look for, and that they want their employees to have some of these soft skills, because you can apply these to no matter what job you go into. Okay. So work skills for the 21st century go by many names. They're called applied skills, employability skills, cross-disciplinary skills, and soft skills. But they all mean like pretty much the same thing. So these are just some other names for it. What are they? So they're knowledge, work habits, and character traits necessary to succeed in this rapidly changing world. And especially in the world that we live in today, I think that these skills are even more valuable now to have than ever. The good news, though, just like any other subject, 21st skills can be taught, practiced, and incorporated into everyone's life. So don't think that, just because you're not good at one skill right now doesn't mean that that's how it's always going to be. That just means that, maybe we have to put a little bit more work into a certain skill set versus another. And then I'm going to share with you the New World of Work team that have actually identified these top 10 21st century skills that all modern workers need. So I think it makes it a little bit easier to kind of see like, oh, what are these skills that they're looking for? So these are the skills that they're looking for. Number one is like adaptability. So that's, are you able to adapt to the new environment that you're put in several times, right? Even if you have like a certain job, you're not going to be in the same environment every day. I know with Jessica and I, working at the Career Center, sometimes there'll be fairs, like every day looks differently. Sometimes we're helping students. Other times, we're asked to do a certain, like a different event. So it's really important to be adaptable and realize that, you're going to have different things that come up, and are you able to adapt? The second one's analysis and solution mindset. So that's, how we talked about the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. You want to be growth mindset and try to find solutions when problems arise. Third is collaboration. Are you able to collaborate with a team of people or a few people? Because a lot of the times, a lot of jobs require you to, be talking to other people, like if you think about it, or work together in a team. Those are things that employers definitely look for. The next one's communication. You're going to be, either talking to clients, people, and so developing those communication skills, whether that be written communication, verbal communication, or whatnot, that's something that's super important too. Digital fluency is another one. And I think that that's very important as well with the time that we live in. Sixth is empathy. And I think empathy is really important, especially for those, well, any field that you go into, really, if you put heart into it, there's a different result that comes out of it. So, making sure you're empathetic. Seventh is, and I cannot say this word,
Entrepreneurial mindset.
Thank
That's
you.
a fun word.
It is. That one. 8 is resilience. And we talked a lot about that today, having resilience. 9 is self-awareness, understanding like, what am I good at? What needs work? And that's really important, because you don't begin to change unless you realize that something needs to be changed. And then 10's, social diversity and awareness. I think that, in today's day and age, we really need to learn to be socially competent and like have that awareness and make sure that we're accepting and understanding of all different kinds of people. So yeah, these are the 10 employability skills that they require you to have. And as you can tell, I struggle with my S's, so that was a mouthful. Okay. So these are the 4 steps to gain skills for the new world of work. You want to have self-awareness. So what is the skill? Why is it relevant to the workplace? The second step you're going to take is observation. After awareness, purposefully observe others in the workplace. So like you want to, model what you see and use those good examples. Step 3 is reflecting on those skills and the workplace situations in a safe environment. Like in a classroom, you want to self-assess your own behavior, get feedback, and make adjustments. And step 4 is continuing practicing those skills and reflecting on the progress. Okay, so I will go ahead and put this video in the chat just because of the sake of time. Or Jessica, what do you think? We only have this left.
I think let's do the video because they're always kind of hilarious and extra in a good way. And then we can kind of jump into the summary for this. And of course, if anyone has any questions, please put them out in the chat because I'm there.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Thank you. Okay. Are we good? Can you all hear it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Everyone's doing a fantastic job. You came in like a wrecking ball. Pop culture. Okay, on to new accounts. Drum roll, please. Okay. John and Jane. Sorry about that. Anyways, guys, have a great weekend. On to big things. Keep those numbers up, right? Fantastic. Good luck. You need the Bosco power team. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we could do some really good work together.
Great work.
Yeah.
Do you want to grab a bite and talk about first steps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, right? What's your favorite season?
Summer.
Of course.
All right. Oh my god. The car won't start. Oh my god. What do I do? What do I do?
Try it again.
Oh. All right. Let's go to lunch.
Hey, have you guys decided what you're having? Yeah, I'll have the grilled chicken chipotle.
And I'll have the soup and salad combo with butternut squash soup.
I'm so sorry, we just ran out of butternut squash soup.
No. 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 No.
Can I take a look at the 2009 sales figures, please?
I think the reports only go back to 2010, but if you really need them, you can put in a request and see if they can be delivered tomorrow.
Sales figures from 2009.
These reports only go back to 2010. Can you work on something else until the documents here?
las cifras de ventas. 2009.
Now you're just saying the same thing in Spanish.
So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and stop it, but we'll include the link so that you all can see it. But yeah, that's a fun little video. So I'm going to jump to the summary section. So gaining 21st century employability skills will prepare you for the demands of the modern workforce. These are gained through a combination of awareness, practice in the workplace, and from, reflecting. You're in control of your own journey is kind of what we wanted you to get from this. Realizing that, having a growth mindset and engaging in, things that challenge you will actually help you grow. Ask for feedback from your instructors and work-based learning supervisors. For the most part, when you ask people, they're very open to feedback and letting you know what you do well and what you need to grow in. And then research on your own and apply what you learn every single day in practice. This is your journey, and it will be what you make it, essentially. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I will also send the worksheets to you and through the chat. And then if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Jessica and I through our emails. You can also set up appointments with us if you have any additional questions. We'd be happy to discuss with you further. And then if you attend all of the sessions, you receive a certificate. So highly encourage you to attend all of them. We enjoy having you all here. And thanks for being such a wonderful group. And, I kind of sense the chat going off a little bit. I haven't really been able to read, but Jessica, thank you for answering those questions. So yeah, let me put the links for these worksheets.
Went ahead and put the link for the worksheets ready to go for you guys. And if you are interested, even if you miss one of the sessions, we record all of them. So you're welcome to email us and we'll get the session to you as soon as we can too. So yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you. So there's one. And then I'll put a little so that separates them. Oh, that one didn't go through. Let me see. There we go.
As soon as you guys got the links, you're good to go. We're just hanging out here just in case anyone has any quick questions or wants the, to grab the link or anything.